Hi Baski.
Good morning, CK.
Good morning.
What are we doing here this morning?
A 250 shootout?
A 250 shootout, a 250 adventure shootout, a 250 lightweight adventure shootout, a 250 pseudo adventure shootout.
Fake ADVs?
Fake ADVs, yeah, that's what they are. They look like ADVs. They're not true ADVs. But what's a true ADV? What's missing in this to say that they are not true ADVs? I see one.
Suspension?
That's it. That's about it. Anyway, we are here with these two this morning. Rode a few kilometers, exchanged the bikes, understood more about them. First question is, who is the target rider that you think or we think this is positioned for?
I believe this is more targeted for your college kids.
Yeah, that's the positioning of the motorcycle, right? It is positioned for a younger audience who want it to be accessible in terms of weight, size, usability.
Economy as well to run it.
Yeah. Okay, that's right. Economical to maintain, operate in comparison. Okay, so that takes care of the profile of customers. Coming to the pricing, they are not close to each other, are they?
No.
Yeah.
No Baski. This is 246X showroom and that is 214X
More than
showroom.
30,000 rupees difference. Why is that 30,000 rupees difference? We will come to that soon. We did a review of this motorcycle several months ago. It was a review standalone and we did a little bit of a comparo long back.
Yeah.
Multiple motorcycles, but that is a quick fire comparo. It's a little bit more detailed today. How did you find the ergonomics between the two? Ergo in terms of just the riding posture. Fell more into place on that motorcycle than on this.
Yes. I felt more connected sitting on this motorcycle when compared to that.
I'll put a twist to that. I was thinking about the same thing. I felt the same. When I got onto that, everything plonked into place. I had to fumble a bit here to find the things and I realized this is built closer to the 125s and the 150s. So transitioning from that to this is very easy. Things will fall in place. If you're used to a 150cc street motorcycle, jump off that, jump onto this, everything falls in place. You and I, we have a few decades of experience, which is probably more than the age of the people who are going to buy this.
You're making me sound like an old.
You are an oldie. You have been riding for 25 years at least, right? So that's probably older than what the age of the people who will buy this motorcycle. So let's discount that thing of ergonomics in this angle, that seems more comfortable simply because of where we are in our motorcycling career today. However, if it is a person early evolution of their motorcycling, I feel this would fall into place easier.
Another positive note, if I have to mention for the ADV, the big bike feel.
Yeah, that's got a big bike feel. Yeah, exactly. That's the reason why I say somebody coming from the smaller motorcycle will find sitting on this much more easier and getting used to it quickly than this motorcycle. However, after a while, that starts to feel more comfortable and confident. So that's the ergo. It's a choice. If you're as old as some of the trees here and like me, that would probably be more suited for you. Younger, coming from scooter or a smaller motorcycle, this would fit in. Of course, after a while, either is okay. You get used to it. Was there anything significant in terms of sheer ride quality of these two motorcycles? Referring to suspension, obviously.
No,
Not really.
Baski. Not
Both
really.
felt the same?
Both felt very much similar to one another.
A bit stiff, yeah, on both ends, a bit stiff. Again, that is, let me tell you, in reference, anything good, bad, great, small, heat, vibration, everything is relative. So relative to where we come from, we find the suspension a bit stiff. However, For somebody coming from a street motorcycle to this,
It will not make a
it
difference.
will not make a difference. It feels good. It is stiff, but the ride was okay, right?
It was okay. I'm not complaining
Yeah,
about it,
yeah.
but it was okay. It's just that we've been spoilt with choices.
Yeah, we've been spoilt and we have had the opportunity to ride so many motorcycles. So that is where we have come. So coming back to the focus of the riders who are likely to buy and choose between these, they will find it perfectly okay.
Yeah, it's not going to make a difference to them, Busky.
Yeah. So ride quality, there's not much difference between the both. Handling wise also, in terms of connecting it to ride quality, this felt better, I think, because of the bar position. There's a bit more leverage, a bit more, let me say, on the ball.
Yeah, the body positioning on this motorcycle, Busky, I felt it much more better. Found it easier to take those low speed U-turns and stuff like that. There I struggled a bit. I don't know why.
Exactly, making the same reference again at the risk of repeating myself again and again. Coming from a smaller cc motorcycle, this handling, ride quality will feel more closer to the smaller cc. This is again, it's like this is a little bit of a parallel universe, right?
Yeah.
The KTM, they got a slight tangent. They don't run with the regular ride. Maybe that's why the price also is different. We will come to that, explaining, justifying why this has got a premium over this model. So that's about ride quality. Performance, how does the engine respond? What is the character of this and what is the character of this? How different are they? It's not a question of what you like and what I like. How are they different to each other in terms of engine performance characteristic?
This is aggressive,
Yeah.
gives you enormous feedback, be it a simple declutch, flipping the throttle or changing the gear.
Precise.
It is
Everything
very,
is
very
very precise and requires a lot of attention.
This, yeah, it is very engaging.
Yeah.
It is very engaging.
Allow the mind to wander in la la land, thinking about something and riding this motorcycle. You might stall it, it might shudder, judder and shake. This requires focus and it takes several 100 kilometers to get into the groove for it to become subconscious. This doesn't need that kind of an adaptation. This can be adapted to
Very
bang,
easy
spot
going.
on,
Eh?
yeah.
Very easy going, very forgiving. You miss a gear, you miss a downshift,
not going to stall it,
it's not going to stall.
it will stall.
This stalls. It is, in that way, this is very brutal.
Yeah. Brutal, it'll give a slap on the face and say, do you know how to ride a motorcycle? You old
What are you
man.
doing there, jerk?
Yeah, what are you doing there, jerk? Shift on time, rev on time, let the clutch go. Riding this is far easier, can be ridden lazily, can be ridden with an absent mind. That not so easy. It takes some getting used to for it to become subconscious. Again, coming back, easier to adapt to this engine characteristic than that. That's a bit high revving. I found 6th gear is only from 70 onwards I could get into 6th and then it moves. This under 60.
40, 50.
Yeah, was it?
It pulls along.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say it chugs, it pulls along.
It shifted quite quickly into the 6th gear and I was able to, and it didn't protest or struggle. This will start to, the chain will start to whiplash, bang, 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 before it starts to pull away. So it needs more revs. Life starts at around 4,500 to 5,000 on this. It starts to smoothen down, everything starts to work well.
As designed.
This is from 3,000 onwards, this starts to work very well. So the overall engine character is more usable than that. However, that is more rewarding, I would say.
More rewarding. I think this needs a little bit more specialization, right?
Accurate riding.
Accurate riding, in simpler terms.
The bandwidth of operation is narrow. Not necessarily in a bad way, but that's how it works, right? That's KTM. Yeah. That's a KTM
That's
for you.
KTM for
Ready
you.
to race.
True. The minute you turn on the key, ready to race.
Yeah. Hey, and boys, youngsters, you will be able to convince your parents to buy you a Suzuki than a KTM because of the reputation that goes behind this model. It's known for speed and the consequences of what happens. So you'll probably be able to pull this off, then try to pull that off if your parents are paying for it.
I find this got that handicap. People have prejudiced KTM
Actually,
for
it is prejudiced. It is not the motorcycle, it is the rider. right? Even an Activa can be a dangerous motorcycle for a stupid rider on it.
Yeah.
However, this has got that branding behind it. KTM is dangerous, it is too fast. You stand a better chance with this than with that. Huh?
Yeah. Parents buying it, easier to convince.
Plus, it is cheaper.
Plus cheaper.
Okay, now next, vibration, feedback from the pegs and bars. I'll tell you how I felt it. That has a constant buzz. At all RPM, there is a buzz. Buzz.
Not vibes.
Not vibration. This topic of vibration is gone too far. Yeah, if someone's coming from a 100cc motorcycle or a variomatic scooter, they could reference as vibration, but it's not a vibration. It's sort of an RPM meter, which kinds of subconsciously telling me what RPM the bike is doing. This has got nothing until I say 7,000 RPM. Then I start to feel there is like a whoop spike in the buzz.
Yeah.
Nothing unusual, nothing massively intrusive or bothersome. Till such time there is nothing on this. It's kind of smooth. 7 the buzz starts to pick up on the peg. This, it is there at 4,000. It starts to slightly creep up. The frequency increases.
It is persistent. There is no spikes.
No spikes, yeah.
No massive spikes.
It's there right through the rev range. It is there. Of course, a little more at higher RPM.
Understandable.
This doesn't have anything. This is super like. This is like lime juice, sweet and salt.
Curd rice and bisi bele bath.
Curd rice and bisi bela bath. Okay.
Simpler.
Let's leave the juice aside. Let's talk about this is curd rice. Huh? That's bisi bela bath. Okay. So that's how it is. Seat, pretty good, huh? Both.
Yeah.
That felt a bit firmer, like a typical KTM seat. Obviously, it's a KTM. This was it was okay.
Somehow, Baski, KTM seats, they are the best.
And when it comes to seats, when that terminology, seat is hard, his seat is hard. Actually, it's a bit of a reverse. When the foam is soft, the bottom rests on the seat plate after some time. Seat plate is either metal or plastic. That is when it starts to hurt. When the foam is firm on that, no matter how many hours we ride, it does not sink to the bottom of the plate. So it's a bit of how we use the words. Seat is hard. It's not necessarily a bad thing. Seating is hard. The seat itself is not hard. This is a bit soft. I do not know what will happen to this after 2 hours or so. I don't think this will collapse. But youngsters won't have a bottom as big as mine, so I guess they will be okay on this. That's okay on this comfort. Which exhaust note, which engine sound did you like? Yeah, I like that also. That's got that nice sound of the motor, that purr of the exhaust.
Yes.
This sounds like a very plain Jane, typical motorcycle, for a lack of a better word.
Curd rice.
Curd rice, yeah. It's a bit boring. The exhaust was a bit boring.
It's not engaging on your ears.
Senses, yeah.
This, yes. It's kind of engaging when you go on the high revs. It's more engaging. You're going to look for it. You can feel.
Yeah, in this I could hear the valve train noise, the chain noise. I couldn't hear much of the note from here. That, it gives that beautiful exhaust noise. I guess that's why we are paying a little more money for that.
Money. You want to get into that topic?
Yeah, now we'll talk about that. Why is that? Okay, what is the justification of KTM wanting 30,000+ more than this motorcycle? What are the few things that stand out?
The appeal.
Looks good. Styling. You mean they had to employ engineers who are paid more than this to design engineers to pay more?
Ouch.
Styling is not measurable. So how about the measurable parameters? What do you think?
For me, yeah, Baski, the fit and finish.
It's a notch better, yeah?
Yeah,
than this.
the paint quality.
Right. Mind you, this is good.
It is good. I'm not complaining.
We are only speaking about why is that 35,000 rupees more than this. Fit finish.
Definitely this looks
better. Probably some of the cost has gone into having a better premium finish. Second, you said the paint quality, probably that is contributed to some of that 35,000. And then I see the swing arm. This is a steel box section, that's a aluminium cast.
wow. Take my money for that.
Looks good too.
Looks good.
So that is probably one area where money has gone into. Upside down forks. This is
It does the job.
Regular. It does the job. This costs more to make. So that's two areas where we see the extra money could be charged. Slip and assist clutch. That also costs a bit more. These three. What else? Water cooled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, this has got a radiator, fan, its entire water circuit. Of course, this is oil cooled, not as complex and
Not as sophisticated as this.
sophisticated and cost as much as that. So we've identified a few physical things that items that definitely will cost more than what's on this motorcycle. What else? Dash is similar. Both
Even
are
though I
price-
found this plasticky, when compared to that, I found it more plasticky.
LCD, both are LCD. We can see the reason why it is costing more. It is not, in some motorcycles we wonder why is this costing more. However, here there is a clear factor. Mind you, good, nothing wrong with this. It is just the fact this is a step above and they are charging for that. Do you really need to pay for all of that? That's up to you. You want the KTM, you want that type of fit and finish, a little bit of exclusivity, aluminium swing arms, water cooled engine. Hey, and coming to water cooled engine, and this is an oil cooled engine, that will throw out more heat than
This
but there's no heat in this.
no heat.
Nothing. Typical Japanese, they run their engines so cool, or rather, they are able to get their engines to run cool. Coming from a smaller cc motorcycle, a scooter, coming into a bigger motorcycle, the rider would find this much more comfortable to ride in terms of pure heat in heavy traffic. That will, once the fan kicks in, yes, there is a waft of warm or hot air depending on your tolerance to heat. It doesn't bother us, old foggies riding for a long time, so it doesn't really matter. Somebody coming in new, not used to this cc and this kind of heat, this is
That's more.
easier to manage the engine heat.
Which do you think is more purpose built of the two?
What is the purpose? If we define the purpose, I will be able to give you an answer. I see multiple purposes. I mean, we can set multiple purposes.
If I want to go to the highways more often, this is the motorcycle. I'm looking more at like an equal split or 60% bias towards commuting.
Yeah. If my percentage of commuting is going to be more, I would take this anyway. Heat is less.
Easier to live with.
Costs less.
Costs
It
less.
probably gives a little more mileage.
Yeah,
We didn't ride it enough to check, so I'm pretty sure this will give a little more, at least about 4-5 kilometers per liter more. What does that give anyway?
I wouldn't be surprised, Basky, even if it turns up in the region of 35 to 40.
35 to 40. This is what
30, 32.
30, 32. This probably will be 37, 38. It's an estimation.
Estimation.
If I'm sure many of you own both these motorcycles, please share in your comments what mileage you get on your V-Strom or on the KTM 250 Adventure on the highway and the city. Useful information for us and for everybody, whoever is listening and watching this video. Yeah, if I'm a commuter, I'm budget conscious about not just the purchase price, also about the operating
The regular
cost,
maintenance.
the maintenance, the mileage, the network in non-metros. Wouldn't that be a factor also?
Yes.
KTM is present in all metros, quite strongly present. B cities also probably, but I think after that there is not much KTM presence.
Much KTM, yeah.
Yeah, so this probably would fit in well in that sort of a
In that
terms of service
ecosystem,
support.
yes.
Ecosystem, yeah, this is probably
That is better.
better. Pillion comfort, we really don't know. We don't have pillions to ride with us, nor do we ride pillion. From the initial looks, this is a bit fiddly. Again, good for a college student pillion.
Yeah.
So if you have a boyfriend who's built small, he'll probably fit in well. Obviously, if you have a girlfriend who built small, she would fit in comfortably on this rear seat. However, big asses like us probably would prefer that. This gap is less in this. That's a little bit more.
Yes.
Angle would be
The knee bend.
and this angle would be a little bit easier.
Easier on this, yeah.
Braking, I found both pretty okay in terms of brake feel.
This is more confidence inspiring.
You found that more?
Yeah, I got more feedback on this compared to that.
I thought I didn't notice much of a
You didn't notice much of it?
a difference between the two.
Okay. But somehow I felt this to be more confidence inspiring than that.
Probably you pushed a little more than I did. I was just riding like how I ride. You braking, you would probably know more. Then what's next? What else?
Even the tires are very similar. Huh?
Yeah, exactly the same. The front tires are ditto, the same MRF, the same size. The rear is slightly bigger on this. It's a 140, that's a 130.
140, yeah.
So it's a mild, slight difference in that.
1 centimeter, does it make a difference?
Yeah, aesthetically perhaps. In real world grip, I'm not so sure. Got a nice rack, beautiful rack.
I like that.
It's got some bolt holes here, probably to mount a plate to put some luggage. So good place to put luggage. There is no place to put luggage there. Aha! Something seriously missing. And we say that is for touring. However, we tour singles. We are always solo riders. We don't have a pillion. So that thing of a rack doesn't register in our old brains. We put the luggage on the rear seat. On this, the likelihood of going doubles is much higher and you have a rack. So that's a big plus on this motorcycle. That's a big plus on this motorcycle.
It's a big plus for the 250.
Looks are subjective. Which one do you like?
I don't know. That's been heavily inspired to ape the bigger 650. Even a 390, this looks the same.
Yeah.
Somehow I find this much more easier. I know it's a little bit more edgier and all that stuff, but I would go with this, Busky.
Okay. I like this.
You like that?
I love how it looks.
Yeah?
Like I said in the video we made several months ago, this is the best looking motorcycle. If I have to pick one motorcycle on only one parameter in any segment, reasonable segment, between the 2 lakh to 4 lakh.
Careful, 4 lakh, you're trudging on the entirely different middleweight segment as well.
Yeah, it looks, only looks when it comes to looks. Now talking about 400cc, can you just picture just something like this, inflate by about 10% in physical size and stick in a DRZ 400 motor. Hey, come back. That's in La La Land.
Yeah. No, honestly, that should have been there in the first place.
Should have been. They could have a step up from this, right? A 400 or a 4. I think they would, because that segment is hot now. Super hot. We have the Hero Harley, the Bajaj Triumph, the Royal Enfield in that segment making waves, creating news. It won't be too long before they have the motorcycle. They have a 400cc platform.
That's one grudge that I have against the Japanese manufacturers in India.
Slow to react.
They're very slow to react. And even if they do, for me, honestly, it's a jugaad.
The kind of motorcycles they have, the kind of platforms they have, I think it comes down to cost. It is nothing but cost. They are finding it difficult to build a motorcycle for the super price sensitive market. You know, in fact, I have heard a lot of people mention this is expensive.
The V-Strom 250SX?
This is expensive, yeah. They expected this to be around 25,000-30,000 rupees cheaper. Everybody wants everything cheap. I understand.
No, Busky, I kind of subscribe to that because what's new in this? What's novel in this?
It's a Gixxer, or what do you call it? GEX, GSX.
GX, whatever.
250SX, GX in a different clothing, right?
Where is the innovation
suspension
for me?
Is same.
Yeah, where is the innovation for me to pay that extra buck? This, yeah, you've got some USD forks. I can understand. Got a slip assist.
It costs more.
Yeah, it costs more. I'm still okay to pay that small premium.
However, coming to that, isn't this in a bad place when it comes to price? It could be the end of this motorcycle.
Yeah.
What's the ex-showroom?
246.
What's the ex-showroom of the Triumph 400?
Triumph 400
260.
232 speed.
Yeah.
Speed 400
X.
is 232.
X.
Cheaper than this.
Yeah.
The Scrambler is 30k more, 262.
262. 12,000 rupees more than this. The Himalayan?
Ah, you're getting to the big daddies, huh? 269.
So, a little more money over this. The bang for the buck is massive. It's huge. This is treading on some dangerous territory in terms of sales. It never did very well, and now they shot themselves in the foot. Not really, they probably made a good move, sacrificing this by bringing the cheaper 390s, much closer to this. So plonk a little more money if you really want a KTM, and buy the 390X without the electronics and bells and whistles, which is a little more than this motorcycle.
Okay.
This is in a safer spot. This is in a safer spot, a more accessible spot compared to this. So maybe the end coming for this. I don't know. I could be wrong right now. Speculation.
No, mathematically you're making sense. Because end of the day, Bosky, that 30,000 rupees premium that you pay to get onto the mid segment, and if you're taking it on a loan, an EMI, right? How much is that 30,000 going to make a difference? 1,000 rupees, 1,200 rupees per month? Is that going to be a huge deterrent for a person paying 8,000 rupees per month as an EMI compared to 9,000 rupees?
More accessible. Probably it makes sense to upgrade. What is the competition? Dominar 250? Coming to the aspect of commuting and touring.
Yeah.
So between the two, it's not going to be a tough choice for me.
Same here.
I'll plonk for this. Dominar is just too heavy, too slow, too dull.
I would prefer this over
Hey,
the
this is
Dominar.
lighter. This is 177, 167.
But Bosky, I found this handling much easier even though it's got 10 kilos more than that.
10 kilos more in handling, but in terms of physically moving it around, it's far easier. 10 kilos is a lot of weight. And that is the reason why it also gives better mileage. Why it costs cheaper. It's a traditional chassis. That's a trellis with a bolt-on subframe. There is a reason why it costs more. Does it really make so much sense today? I don't know. KTM fans, no brainer. Engaging motorcycle, ready to race. Can paste anybody on the road. Bigger motorcycles also can be pasted with this in terms of sheer speed, acceleration, performance, handling, everything. But how many of us want to do that all the time? We are most of the time minding our own business, enjoying, going about our own lives, traveling with a companion, exploring the world, or going to work, going and pissing on our boss, or get pissed on by our boss. That lifestyle, I think this will go well. Somehow I like this V-Strom. Maybe because I have a V-Strom 650, I have that, affinity to that brand and that name and how things look. Conclusion, choice, open choice, what people want.
If I think from here,
Next this, yeah.
if I think from here,
Yeah.
it's very simple, Bosky.
So to summarize, we are quite a bit older than the target audience. Older not necessarily in just age, experience, riding experience. In terms of sheer number of years we have ridden, not commenting on our great knowledge or anything, that doesn't come into play. Simply because we've been riding for decades, we are wired to go into something like that. Somebody with a fresh mind stepping into this segment wants something that looks good, feels good, light on the pocket. When buying, light on the pocket. When filling, light on the pocket. When servicing, accessible service centers, Japanese.
Suzuki's got a good brand recall here.
This would make sense. So it depends on what mindset, what mentality, and your appetite for the type of motorcycling. You have a choice. For me, since I have other motorcycles, if I have to buy one more, which I can't afford anyway, I already have 3. I'll buy this because instead of that, I'll put in a little more money and I already have the Himalayan 450. Okay, CK, that's about it. I think we have shared what all we know. If there are any other questions you want to know about this, please share in the comments, and we will do the best to answer.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Let's do that then. Yeah.
thanks.
Thank you.
Stay tuned for more such content. Take care.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಓಕೆ. ಇದು ಹೆಲ್ಮೆಟ್ ನೋಡಿ ಗಾಡಿ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರಾ ಅಥವಾ ಗಾಡಿ ನೋಡಿ ಹೆಲ್ಮೆಟ್ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರಾ?
ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹೆಲ್ಮೆಟ್ ಬಂತು,
ಹಾಂ
ಹೆಲ್ಮೆಟಿಗೆ ಮ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್ ಗಾಡಿ ಬೇಕಿತ್ತು, ಈ ಗಾಡಿ ಸಿಕ್ತು
ನೋಡಿ. ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಬ್ಲೂ, ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ ಬ್ಲೂ,
ಬ್ಲ್ಯಾಕ್
ಯೆಲ್ಲೋ.
ಹೌದ್ರಿ, ಏನ್ರಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಫುಲ್ ಕಲರ್ ಕೋಡಿಂಗ್ ನಿಮ್ದು.